We're live.
Okay.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. Thank you, everyone that's joining us. I am Sherri from Obsidian Texts and Tangents, hosting on behalf of Injiri for the last of the live read-alongs for Wild Seed. And with me are Leah.
Hi, my name is Leah, or IntrovertedBlackGurl on YouTube.
And Cabe.
Oh, hi, I'm Cabe. I'm also on YouTube, just under Cabe Jackson. I'm on like a hiatus right now, not posting videos, but I'm still actively involved in booktube stuff. So
Great. So I guess we'll start it the way Injury always starts and welcome everyone and ask you all where you are in the book today. So we'll start with us, I guess. I wanted to get pretty close towards the end, but I wanted to finish during the stream. So I'm a couple pages into chapter 14. So hopefully I'll be reading fast enough to actually finish. I read pretty slow, so fingers crossed. Where you all at?
Like I said yesterday, I finished because I couldn't stop reading, and I was just at a point where I was just like, I had a chunk of time. I was just reading, and the more I've read, it's like I can't stop. I can't leave it here. So I'm finished.
So I'm only like halfway through chapter 11. I don't know where that puts me in place of like the read along, but I'm only like halfway through chapter 11.
Okay.
And then,
that's the beginning of book 1, right? I mean, book 2. You're in the beginning of book 2, right?
I think that's book 3.
Oh.
It might be middle of book 2. I believe I remember looking at the schedule, but I could be wrong.
No, it's the first chapter of book 3. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. I'm looking over at the YouTube chat. Hi, Gina. Hi, Christina. Hi, Regina Renee. How are you all? Oh, Regina Renee says she finished last weekend.
Oh.
But rereading book 3.
Okay. So I'm not the only one that's finished. Okay, good.
Awesome. So I guess we can start our first sprint if we want to just go ahead and hop into it today. How long do y'all want to do the first sprint for?
It seemed like most people like the 30 minutes, but
yeah, 30 felt really good yesterday to me too.
Yeah, 30 is solid.
Oh, Cabe, Gina is also in chapter 11.
Okay, so I'm not alone. I'm behind.
Okay. So in that case, let's do the 30. Well, let's set a 30-minute timer.
Yeah, Gina, they're saying 30 minutes. So yeah, Gina and Regina.
Looking like a unanimous decision. All right. Well, while the timer is getting situated, are y'all excited for the live show tomorrow? Are both of you going to be able to join?
Yeah, I'm able to join. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm definitely looking forward to it because I need to talk to other people about how I'm feeling because
does Dora
I have a whole type of feelings, and I'm like, I need to talk to somebody.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
Awesome. Okay. All right. We're going to resume those comments about needing to talk about feelings after the sprint. Okay, everyone ready? Go. See y'all in 30 minutes. time's up for the sprint. How was your reading?
A lot was going on.
I saw your face, Sherri, laughing. I was like, I wonder what part she's up to now. You're like chuckling.
You saw me laughing? I was probably doing one of those chuckles that's like,
yeah, like
everything
that. Like,
is awful.
what is going on? You can't. All you can do is just laugh because it's so
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Mhm.
Yeah. It is. I'm like trying to figure out what I can say without it being spoilery. But it's very interesting at this because I'm in the last like actual chapter of the book, and then I have the epilogue. But I think I'm about halfway through chapter 13, and so we're pretty close to the end of the book. And with that knowledge, it's very interesting where they are, where the two of them are in relation to each other, Doro and Anyanwu. And I get it's interesting. I like it's not where I want either one of them to be. It's interesting. Anyan was it's such a character.
So I'm at the start of 13 now, and Anyanwu has not reached like the character. Like, what is it called? Like, she hasn't given it to me yet. And I'm like, the book's almost over. Yeah,
She's
exactly.
giving what we're asking for. I thought there was a moment when I was reading it and I was like, oh, maybe this is the motivation she needs. Maybe this conversation with this 11-year-old, like, be this. When Doro gets here, be this. Maybe that's the moment she needed. You know, it'd be those moments in the movies. And I was like, oh, that's when the montage happens.
Yeah.
And then I felt when I was reading it, I was like, yes, finally the tipping point. We're gonna see some action. Like this is the end for him. Like this is the end. I waited the whole book for this. Like, and I'm like, what just happened? I'm confused. I'm like, if it was me, this would have happened. This would have happened. That would have been the end. Like but it's a lot to take it because you're like, and you're thinking like, what else she has up her sleeve? Like, what other plan? And like, but at that moment, I don't know where everybody's at right now. I guess we could ask where everybody's at because I don't want to get too much. But I need to speak this out.
Christina says that she just finished. And it's conflicted. I know that I'm in this book conflicted because I'm too close to the end and I'm still having a lot of like
that was me
trouble. Yeah. Also, I think this book is really setting me up for the rest of this journey. So I have the bind up. So I'm like oh, this is where we at right now. This is a lot more of terribleness going to happen probably. Let's see. Anyone else want to share where they are? Also, do you all want to share like a word of how you could summarize the part of the book you're in or how you feel about the book right now with one word or two words? Let's not limit ourselves. Yeah. We'll do two.
For me, how I felt was, well, I can't say it, but it's like, what is going on? And just like, this better not end how I think it's going to end because I'm going to be upset. And now I can't wait for book 2 because book 2, hopefully, we'll see a different turnaround than what we're seeing now.
Shout out to Tati, just now noticing Cabe down there.
But yeah, Leah, I definitely agree with that. But I'm just like, I don't. Was anyone else upset at the fact that like Anyanwu essentially not to say that she became Duro, but like I like her having her own like town of weird people is not sitting well with me at all. And I'm like, how can you say that you're any better than him if you're like you're a healer, yes, but like where are we going with this? Like I want some sort of resolve to happen that's like, okay, and Doro is dead, or like Doro is gone, because can Doro really die? No. But yeah.
I would really like to find a way to kill Doro. Aside from that, to answer your question, I think when I was reading that part yesterday, and when I read it, I saw it more like as a continuation of what she's always done, which is start a new family. I think it was very interesting now that she is aware of other people and other strangeness, that she's like, oh yeah. But then it also makes sense because she kind of has this like sensitivity, this feeling towards people who are her descendants. And it would make sense that like a lot of them have this strangeness. I do think there's a lot of similarities in what they end up like, the byproducts, the communities they form. There's just like the whole purpose behind them and how they go about it is so significantly different to me. Because like one of them is just breeding people and killing them willy-nilly, whom I hate. And the other one's just like, I'm just trying to start families, okay? I just want to be around my children.
Unless it's yes.
Very much less incestuous.
Yes.
Because like somebody don't have no boundaries.
Yeah.
Oh, killing him is too kind. Oh.
Yeah, I was just also reading that comment from Sky Angel. Killing Doro is merciful. You're too kind. He caused generations of pain. We haven't been exposed to many ways to inflict any sort of pain on him. Though I think in the part of the book that I'm in right now, which Leah might be able to relate to, that there's some vulnerability that's happening. I'm very excited to what we're going to do with that. I don't trust Anyanwu to do anything with it, but I am excited to see the full extent of it, so I can imagine what I would have did with that sword.
That part I believe I know what part you're on, and how I guess I could say who is feeling, because the part where I guess Doro was having some type of feelings, and that whole several paragraph of him figuring that out was, I guess half of me felt kind of annoyed, like what is he really feeling those feelings? But then is he actually getting a soul and a conscience, and he's actually doesn't want this terrible thing that could happen to happen because it will affect him and not in a good way? And I don't know, I feel like it was a cover for something, which after that part it was, I don't know, I can't wrap my head around him. I'm still trying to figure him out.
Yeah. I just want to read that comment from Tati that was just in the because I love the way that this is worded. You can't without him killing you. He'll just suck you out of your body.
And that's
so
true.
And he's been alive for so long.
Like
I think that he's drank his own Kool-Aid. Like in the like people worshiping him as a god. I think he's drinking his own Kool-Aid. And so that puts him in a weird position.
I guess the one thing I'll say, and I kind of brought up similarities in like maybe the second or third slow read, which Tati got. I compared Doro to Thanos. from like the Avengers, like the
Yeah,
Endgame,
yeah.
and how now I'm comparing the part where I'm just gonna say Durrell is like in Anyanwu's mind, and like first she was terrified, and I thought that she was gonna be like Tony Stark and sacrifice herself for the greater good, which is for her family, her people, her community, and sacrifice herself so she's able to kill Durrell. I was like, come on, be like Tony Stark, just sacrifice yourself. And then that didn't happen. And I'm like, she could have did something to kind of just end it all. Like, you know, they say like, oh, I forgot one of her children said like, it's only going to be you and him left. At, you know, everybody else going to be gone. It's really going to be you and him. And I would have been like,
which Isaac has been saying forever. Since like book one, Isaac is like, it's gonna be y'all too. Yeah. I wasn't thinking about that when it happened, because when I was reading that part, I remembered a reel on Instagram that I saw earlier today from Bree over at Locked Booktition. And I had it, so I got to that part, and then I immediately thought of that reel, and I was like, "Oh, I wonder if this is the part she was talking about." It's funny. I have to look up what the song is, because I can't remember what the song is, but it was like about the song was about like getting seduced, and it was like it was like about Doro. So I'm trying to, but I was like, figured it out. Okay. Let's see. I don't see any new comments in the chat that we didn't touch on. Do we want to start the second sprint?
Second sprint, yeah.
Yeah, I think most people are literally almost done. Like they have like a few pages.
I know
like,
people are finishing. I read so slow. I'm like, I hope I finish during this. The timer was stressing me out during the other one. I was like, oh, am I far enough along yet? I don't know.
Looking up like, oh.
All right, I think we're starting. Happy reading, everyone in the chat. Also, one more thing before I mute myself is exactly Tati. The fact that she keeps laying down with him, like, why, sis? That's my whole feeling. Okay, I'm gonna mute now.
The fact that that would have been a good time to kill him off. When she just laid up on him, when he's not noticing, when he's like on his guard, that would have been a good time. But she didn't.
And that is the end of the spread. Where we at, everybody?
I'm like 5 minutes away from the end of 13, and it's getting interesting. I still, when Doro speaks, I'm just, what is this? Like whenever Octavia Butler tries to like make us sympathize with him, I'm like, I'm over it.
That's how I just felt about the whole last part that I read. I was like, we'll never be redeemed. Okay, I am not a forgiving person like that. Okay, I leave that up to the universe. Allah, God, whoever you believe in, that's for them. That's not for me. I'm like, nah, you already did enough. I was very excited that I actually finished during. Y'all don't know. The timer, I was like, all right, try to read faster than you usually do. All right. Speed reading was never my strong suit.
Yay.
But I finished. I'm very proud. Yes. Sky Angel did as well. Tati said, when Daryl speaks, you want to tap him.
Anyaru mentioned that, I think at some point where like she wanted to like hit him or something or do something that why he's speaking, like when he first came back and she was like in like I guess the living room writing, and then he went and sat where she was and looking at her like papers, and she got so annoyed by that. I know she was looking at him like,
yes,
what the fuck
I know
are you doing? Like leave my stuff alone. I know that she wanted to like probably hit him.
Mm-hmm. I love that someone actually does do him like bodily harm. And I was thinking that thought and I was like, that's why that person's my favorite character. And that character is Helen, who's an 11-year-old. And so that got me thinking, who are you all's favorite characters? For me, that's been a very hard for me in this book because everyone is kind of So out of everyone, who do you like best?
I feel like my favorite characters are dead now.
I think that's also counts. So who is that person?
Early on, I did like Isaac, even though he was dedicated to Doro, but like Isaac was just like just being Isaac, he was accepting what is, and I was just like, okay, like this is just like he's a fine character. Because Anyamu just she doesn't irritate me as much as Doro does, but like she is irritating. Like because again, I see them as like one and the same. I do get that Doro is like a lot worse, but like at the beginning it was cute, her healing thing and like her want for community. I was like, okay, but like anytime that she's like, so I just read a part where she was talking about how her family isn't like something that's holding them back, and I was like, yeah, they are. Like, what are you talking about? You care so much about these people. And she's like, no. If I like wanted to leave y'all, I could, but I love y'all so much that I was like, I cannot relate. Like, what is this?
Yeah, denial.
So I don't know. That's a good question. What are some of y'all's favorite characters, if you have any?
Yeah, like you said, like a lot of them are dead now. Like at first Isaac was like, but then at the end when like he was actually dying, I felt like bad. I was like, oh, man, like why he had to die.
Yeah.
And then what was Anyanu's like I guess youngest son at the when
Steven.
he yes, I was like, why? He has so much potential.
Listen, I read that earlier today. I read that part earlier today when I was cleaning. So upset. I'm stopping until later. I cannot.
And the way he died is just like, and then like
we should have left dude dying outside yesterday. if that's how he wants to act in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh
Make
yeah, I
it
would have.
jump off balconies.
Yeah.
I would have turned into a leopard and like ate his heart. I would have.
She said she ain't
No.
want that disgustingness in her body. I ain't gonna consume none of his flesh. I was like, I feel you.
I would at least ripped it out of his chest, his heart. I would have did that.
Ripped it out and spit it out, like,
and just threw it outside, let the other animals eat it. I would have did something, but she didn't, and I think she realized that it had a consequence because, you know, afterwards. And I'm like,
Mhm.
it was so sad. It's like, and then the older woman, I guess like the grandmother, when
yeah.
she passed, and like she wasn't there. That was, I guess, her breaking point. And then it kind of went downhill for her after that. And then like she slept with Doro, got pregnant again because like she allowed that pregnancy to happen. Because all during the book, when she terminated the pregnancy because she could, but now this time she let it happen.
She didn't let it happen. She engineered that to happen. She was like, "Oh, I wanted to have a baby by you in this body. Like with you in that body, I wanted to be pregnant. So I am now."
And I'm like, but you forget who he is? Like, just because he's in a nice, gorgeous body doesn't mean anything.
Also, Tati, your comments are feeding me right now. Okay, I just need you to know that. Change fast and eat him all. No leftovers. Oh yeah, spoiler alert.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully that's semi vague enough that it still like get you. When you get there, you'll be like, "Oh, this is what they talking about."
Yeah. But I
yeah.
hope she would have did that, but she didn't. It's just like stuff that I wish she would have did, because anybody else would have did that. She didn't, and it's like, what's going on in her mind? And then the end is just like, I don't know what to do with the end. I can't.
I say my two favorite characters are her two youngest children, I think. So also Stephen and then Helen, the 11-year-old. Cause she just was like, for real, I'm not.
Helen had more sense at 11 years old than all her years. Like, what? Your own daughter telling you, like, you need to get rid of him. You need to do this and get rid of him. Like, he's not gonna leave. He's gonna ruin our lives.
Right?
Because of him, people are dying.
And Anyanwu was so surprised that, like, suddenly, in a few weeks of Doro being around, that her 11-year-old didn't have confidence in her word anymore. Of course not. Your 11-year-old is watching you just be straight submissive to old boy, and he just bung a rapist over here. So yeah, no, she don't trust you. To just because you say so, it's gonna happen, because that's not what you're doing right now. That's not the energy you've been on since Doro showed up.
Yeah, just because he's in a fine body and she noticed, and she's like, oh, like she even got so distracted that she didn't realize it was him until like at the dinner table. She saw the stranger.
She was distracted because he was so fine.
I'm like, and then she realized at the table as soon as he spoke, realized that was him. Like, you so mesmerized by this fine body that you don't realize the devil is sitting right next to you, literally. That part was just
listen. Yeah. Like Tati said in the comments, apparently fine Doro is doable. Like all sins are forgiven at that point. They can be pushed to the side at least until she gets pregnant, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, I do still want to be mad because still nothing changed." Yes, I also wish Doro would spontaneously drop it. He's had a long life. It's time to go. We done. Wrap it up. Oh my gosh. This whole.
I really wonder what the next book is how it's gonna start, and
Who do you think we'll see in the next book that we see in this book?
Definitely Doro, because he's outliving everybody now, so he's not dead, so he's probably gonna show up in the second book.
So is that the big spoiler? So Doro doesn't die. I keep holding on to hope. I got one more chapter for him to die, and he doesn't. Oh
yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that. You can just assume that to be true because
no.
We haven't met a character that would do it yet because clearly Anyanwu will not gonna be the one.
Okay, now would have done it? Just no.
Maybe, who knows? Maybe, hopefully, one of her children is strong enough to finally do it, because he's emotionally maybe not strong enough. She could be. Who knows? We don't know.
Yeah. That's now my new hope. You know, like one of Anyanwu's like motivating factors is to have children that are more like her and Doro, you know, children that won't die, children that are like in a similar caliber, right? So now that's my hope too for this next book. That's what I want, because I need somebody to be able to tag him. Like, I need him to get got, and it's just gonna have to be you know, okay, so I feel like we're gonna see Doro for sure. I think we'll probably see Anyanwu again, because like she's not gonna die unless she decides to die. And then what I'm hoping to see is a different wild seed, okay? Pop up on the screen that Doro ain't ready for. They got something that can compete with him. Okay. I don't think it's gonna come out of his flock. You know what I'm saying? So because he murders them immediately if he feels threatened. But
I wonder if there's another Doro somewhere that's also building like seed villages.
Yeah. I think it's really interesting, Doro as a character, when he is surprised or like threatened by other strangeness. For example, when Anyanwu was talking about the wife that she took when she first started the plantation, and how she could see ghosts, and Doro's like, "Oh no, that's not a thing." Yeah. Boy, you still alive? How long have you been living? You think ghosts ain't a thing? Are you serious?
Can you take people's bodies?
To be able to read other people's minds, and you don't think ghosts are a thing? You watch Anyanwu turn into a dolphin and a big bird and any other thing she wants, and you don't think ghosts is? Boy, if you don't get out of here. Ugh, that annoyed me. Just on a petty level, that was annoying.
Regina, oh yeah, I was gonna say violent folks. Like, what's gonna happen?
That's probably because we keep talking about how we want Doro to die.
So something's gonna happen then. Okay.
So you're giving us just hope. Okay. We've had enough of him, I think is what it is. We're just all fed up, and we don't believe that he can change. Doro has a severe inferior. When we're inside of his mind, I really be like, you need a therapist.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that part was very annoying, because it's like, but then I don't know, it's just like a lot, and I'm like, you need to find somebody to talk to, because you have a lot going on, and he's been alive for so long, and everybody that he knew, I guess, has died because of him or not because of him. So he's that whole I'm God mentality, and in a way that isolates yourself from everything else. Because you're like, I'm the only one, I live forever, you know, why try to, you know, mingle with other people, because they're gonna die anyway. I'm just seeing Happy's comment.
Like, why is he a god? Yeah, he was. Like he would get angry at like one homework.
Yeah, he will take that body and pretend to be a therapist, and then still take clients, and then take their body. When he found a client that good looking, he'll take that body and then come back to a Yahoo, and she's gonna be like, "Oh, you got a new
Listen,
body for me."
the closest thing to a therapist that he ever got was taking solace in Isaac's company and his counsel. Like he didn't always listen to he didn't always do what Isaac said, but he listened to him. And you could, like, when we were in his like brain or wherever, you could see that he did like think about that stuff, and then he'll think about it later what Isaac said. So I feel like if he was to have a therapist, it would need to be one of his favorite sons. So they need to get trained as a therapist. Isaac was like, I'm just gonna be farming and living my life.
He did listen to Isaac and kind of did things differently because of what Isaac said to him. And he's like, okay, I won't do this, or I'll do it later, or, so.
I'll wait until after you guys. It's fine. So like, Isaac saved some people or gave them longer time for a period of time.
But he's gone, so.
All the best ones die due to Dora.
So a really good question. Also, any of these questions, you all in the chat, feel free to answer as well. Yeah, Tati, he hasn't had a favorite son since Isaac. I think that is true, and I think it shows. And that I think that's also showed in like his constant pursuit of Anyanwu before he like found her that second time. And he was just like real salty about he was just still super salty. So my other question for you, you two and everyone in the chat, also answer please, is what was the most evocative scene for you?
Well, I feel like go back. Right now, where I'm at in chapter 13, it's getting spicy. It's getting like I want to continue to read it. Let me think on that for a second, though.
I guess for me, it's the part when that whole scene when Isaac is dying because he literally threw that girl off.
Wicked?
I was trying to picture that scene. I was like,
oh, I pictured it immediately without trying.
How did he do it? I'm like, okay, against the the ceiling, and then her head, and then all that stuff, and then he felt bad about it. He's like, did I hurt her? I'm like, you did more than hurt her. But no one wanted to tell him. I feel like with Isaac, like he knew his powers, he knew what he could be capable of, but he wanted, he did it for good. He only would use it if he had to.
Yeah.
And he wasn't gonna hurt somebody because he wanted to. Like, and he wasn't trying to hurt her, but they're both were dying, and I guess at that point he lost control and he felt bad. So that was like a sad part of the book.
Yeah. That was an interesting part where he just had that reflex, like, but he was so out of it. His awareness was like shot at that point.
Yeah.
Because she was still like ghost on the floor, so she didn't even know what happened until after she got up. So I'm glad that he got to pass away with like not realizing he killed Nweke, but like also she was like gone. Her brain had checked out. So she would have got anyways, because I think she would have attacked Doro, or Doro would have had to kill her or something after he saw that Isaac was dead for sure. I think I don't know what my own answer to that question is, just by the way, but I think one of my favorite, I'll have to think about it some more, but I think one of my favorite scenes, though, because it was something I was very curious about from the beginning of the book, was when we got to see a bit about Doro's origin. And we got to learn about his, like, the village he came from, the family he came from, and his like how his transition happened. And I'm like, yeah, we're still seeing the effects of your childhood being played out right now. Again, he needs a therapist or a journal or something. He needs to work through. He needs to work through that childhood trauma. Okay.
See, but it's been more than like I feel like how time is handled in this book. It's been more than just like if I went through something traumatic as a kid, like that's like 10, 20 years, you know, it's still impacting me. But for him, it's been centuries. Like it's been.
And he ain't never dealt with it. It's not gonna stop impacting you until you deal with it.
That's
that's the lesson. That's our lesson from Duro. Deal with your stuff. So Christina said, I really enjoyed the dolphin scene in the ship. She was so happy before it got weird and she considered mating with them. And then she did later.
Yeah, I like that part as well.
During the part when I was reading that, I also went through those emotions. I was like, oh, that's cool. Oh, interesting. So quickly you went to that space.
Okay. I'm still trying to think back to like the very beginning of when Duro like snatched the body. Like I was not expecting that to happen. And yeah. I don't know. I feel like while I'm reading the ending part of it, I just keep reflecting on things that happened at the very beginning and like what brought Anyamu here. And I'm like, what decisions could we have made differently to not have gotten here? That's what I keep reflecting on. Yeah.
Let's see. Regina Renee says, my favorite part of the book was when she was a dolphin. Yeah. I also really like the going out to sea to clear her mind and like reset. That's like the thing that she started to do to reset when she was going through things or she got bored, you know, since she's living for so long. She's like, I'm tired of being a human. I want to go be a dolphin for a while.
Yeah, I like the one part where they had said like, I wonder what does Doro do? Kill?
Yeah.
Bored, yeah.
I feel like that scene where she first turned into a dolphin and like what Christina said, like she was happy and everything. I guess, you know, so many things happened since then. It's like if she only did something differently, if she only swam away, if she only figured, you know, if she only when she got to America, like turned into animal and ran away, you know, if she only did those things, I think at that point she knew like if she turns into an animal, Duro wouldn't be able to track her. So it's like if she only did that, but then figured a way to get back home. I don't know. It's a lot that could have been done that she didn't do, even up to the last chapter or so. And I really hope she kind of redeems herself in a way in the second book, and you know, does something and not be like this for until she dies. Whenever that happens, so yeah.
Yeah, I hope that if Anyanwu, if we see her in the, like we continue to see her through the series and in this next book, that it's going to be a reflection of this being the beginning of her character arc, because I don't feel like we've arced very much. And I would like to see that. That's what I hope. That's my hope. So, oh, that went by too fast for me. Tati said,
"Oh yeah, he did that for like 100
things for 100 years." Yeah, but when time is like when you can live for millennia and millennia, what's 100 years?
What is 100?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the detail of those scenes. I forget all the notes I made about it, but it just reminded me of like transitioning, like transgender people transitioning, and not necessarily like medical transition, but going through like social transitioning and like how she had to, because she was like dolphin, yes, but like she still had to like sort of learn and become what being a dolphin actually is. So in the same sense, like I can like wear whatever men's clothing is, but then like when hanging around like cis men, they have their own like mannerisms and like, you know, locker room talk that you sort of have to like, I don't really learn, but like in order to fit in, you have to like learn and like sort of pick up on the social cues of what it means to be manly and what it means to be womanly. And I mean, it's a whole gender thing that could go down, but yeah. I saw that a lot with how she became a dolphin.
Yeah. I think it's really cool. Also, like, there's a lot of conversation around names in this book and her choosing a name and like all that stuff too, and her having different names in different communities. One thing about the transformations that I found really interesting and made a bunch of notes about. Oh yeah, I meant to point that out since Tati's on the call that I've been highlighting and writing in my book and so just so she can cringe over there. But one thing I thought that was really cool, the way that Octavia wrote about it, because she didn't use any words or any like understanding or any like science base from Anyamu's perspective that she wouldn't have actually had any experience with at the time that she started to first experience that and we were in her head, and then later when she was reading more books and stuff like that. So I really like the way that Anyamu understood those transitions, and the way that we were reading about them matched very well, because you don't always see writers do a good job in that. And it's like, how is that how they're understanding this? They don't have any of this knowledge base. That's not the context they would have been understanding this reality in.
I could think of a few books that do that are like, what are you doing here? Let's stop.
Exactly.
I'm from a science background and I'm like, I understand this, but the character would not know this. So I'm annoyed that like now I'm analyzing things I don't want to be like analyzing.
Yes, exactly. And so when I was reading this book, I thought it was really cool the way that Octavia talked about the science, because I'm real into the science, and I was like, oh, that's very cool. The way she talks about like Anyamu's also understanding of a molecular level of her own. It was very top-notch writing. Thoroughly enjoyed. I like the all caps, there will be a reckoning.
What's happening here?
It's from Tati in the comments. I think that was because I said I was writing in my book.
See, so when Regina had said that she felt free, and then Christina mentioned that like it's hard because she has to stay as an animal for him to not track her. That's why I'm like, is it really freedom? Because it's just like you're going into this animal like form to like escape from him. So like, is that, I don't know. Yes, it's free, but it's like, but you're only like, you're running away still always. And Anyamu is just, she's disappointed me multiple times. I guess she's cool. Like the healer thing, it's nice, it's cute.
But you wanted more, right? You're like,
yeah, like I wanted her to
something else
as like Doro kills, but no.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I feel like they're she has so much potential, and beyond what she understands that she has. I think that's her limit. She's limited by how much power she thinks she has, even in her healing. Like I was talking about this yesterday. She calls herself a healer, and I think she is, but she's a healer in more ways than I think she realized or values. Like she doesn't really place a lot of value in the way that she heals the people she's around mentally and emotionally. Dang, I wanted to say something, but y'all, everybody not at the end of the book. But they're like, she gets people to like have emotions that usually wouldn't have emotions. And like, oh, for example, her whole like transformation with Thomas. Which like, that was just a byproduct. That's just who she is. That's how she heals. But she really only values the actual physical healing that she performs for people. And so I think in the same way that she's she limits herself, like mentally. So hopefully, since we have a whole 4-book series,
maybe this will
more arc happening. But
I feel like when it came to Thomas, and when Thomas died, I feel like that's when she realized that, she didn't see herself like the whole picture of a healer, like mind, body, soul, whatever. Like she was starting to, but then when Doro came and took Thomas, that part of her maybe died as well, and she only saw herself as a physical healer, because she was starting to really change Thomas, emotionally and physically, like Tati just wrote, because he was a mess inside and out.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
It literally the detail of the detail of all this the dirt and the sores and stuff. I'm like, he is a hot mess. And he slowly, was getting him healed, and he took a shower, took a bath, and and then soon Doro came and killed him. That's it. And I don't think we didn't see that with any other character.
Oh, she comes back and does it though for Steven's father.
Oh
yeah, because when she finds him, he's kind of very out of it. And spends she was he was basically kind of insane, because he was one of those sensitive people, and he came over on the slave ship.
Oh yeah. I wish they would have talked about that more.
Yeah,
she would have talked about it more, and
exactly, because we only get her mentioning that oh yeah, but by the time he passed away, he was sane most of the time. And the fact that she only talks about it a little, that's when she doesn't really value this as much as I think she should. And if she realized that, she would be much more powerful. There's a lot of power in that, I think.
Yeah. Regina called us out. This is real. She was like, y'all want things for Anyanwu that she doesn't want for herself. Definitely, I do.
Yeah,
I want
her to be great.
I want things for Anyanwu that she doesn't want for herself, because I want things for her descendants that she wants for her descendants that she blocking by not living to her full potential.
There it is. Yep.
She got me over here drinking. Now I gotta rehydrate.
Being stressed out.
So tense. I'm so tense. I was tense for those last few pages too. I was everybody in the book tense. I'm tense now. We all tense.
Yeah, everybody's you gotta do something. You gotta do something. You gotta do something. But what she does this. And he's like, oh, can't do anything. He's like, you gotta do something. She said Leah, which is this. I'm like, oh, she's you have to do something. I'm like, oh.
Of course, she told Doro she was pregnant. She was full into honeymoon phase with Doro again.
Because he had that fine body. So it's
she lost it for that. She said, oh, he is.
I'm carrying your baby.
She said, I know you still be killing people, but
on the side.
Can you stop for a minute? We were rooting for you. We were all rooting for Anyanwu. Oh man, that's crazy. Okay. So I think we are probably let's see what's going on in the comments. Want to make sure everybody hear things from their comments before we go. All right, just for kicks and giggles, because I feel I know where we might stand, but both of them are kind of not great. I just want to take a poll of everybody involved right now, us on the live and in the chat. Where we at? Team Doro or Team Anyanwu? Since both of them get on our nerves.
I'm judging you if you're Team Dora.
Team. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm team.
You don't want to claim one of them. This is a would you rather situation.
Okay. Then of course Anyaru. Like, who's gonna no?
Right. I'll just be annoyed with her all day instead of like potentially murdered with Doro.
Yeah.
Because he would definitely murder me because I would definitely be angry. I'm like, he be wanting people to love him, and then I ain't got it in me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nyamu definitely has patience and care and all that lovey, that
and he's a healer, so he'll heal you of your illnesses and stuff.
Tati, good point. T7, yes.
I like that.
You know he's somebody's option though. He's Anyamu's option, okay?
Yeah.
Just get pregnant again by him.
Until he doesn't have that body.
Said body, yada, 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 yada.
Team Helen, yes, I like that too as well. Yes, Team Helen. I hope Helen's in the next book. I want to see how she grows up and what happens to her.
Right? Like, I wonder if she's going to go through a transition.
Mm-hmm.
What she got?
I hope she survives that with a sane mind and a goodness to her. I'm hoping for that.
Yeah. I want her to be great and I just want all the best things for her. And I want her to never have to deal with Doro. Before I share the announcement as we wrap up today's live, does anyone have anything else they wanted to share? Last minute thoughts going into tomorrow when we're going to have the live show?
I think it's going to be fun tomorrow. It's going to be more people with different perspectives. It's going to be fun.
Yes.
I thought a funny quote from Doro in chapter 13 was, "Do you like this body? It's my gift to you." Now you're a giver. Thanks. And then when Anyamu was like, "Yeah, I love it." Like, it was
is that foreplay for them? I don't know. Is that foreplay for them? It's just weird. You like this body I got for you? Yeah, babe, I love it. Just for me? Like, ugh.
And then she actually has the moment when she's like, I wonder who had to die for this. But then she just keeps going. She just like, she was just like, let the thought happen and fly away.
Yeah, out one, out the other.
She's like, meanwhile, you want me to go lay in the bed? Let's go.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure those quotes are not supposed to be funny, but that brings me joy. Like, dang.
I believe in finding the joy. Okay. So our announcements on behalf of Injiri are to, one, thank you all for participating in the live slow read, especially for everyone who's like really been attending most of them throughout the reading of Wild Seed. I know Injiri has had a lot of fun doing them. This is my first time being on the show, so I've up until now had a really good time participating in the chat. So I hope that you all have as well. Tomorrow, be sure to join the discussion show. It's going to be at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you have to sign up through Eventbrite. You go to the Eventbrite, and then there's like a drop down list of all the shows. So make sure you're signed up for tomorrow's, and you'll get a link. There's going to be a cool guest there that was announced on the Slow Reads Instagram and Twitter, B. Stedwell, and they have prepared like a song that is based on the book. I'm very excited to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
That should be very exciting. And for the last live discussion, if you all didn't take a part, it was really cool. There was like small group discussion. You actually had a chance to talk to people. So come, it's going to be a good time. And then lastly, if you have any feedback, and Jerry would love to know. So let her know what it is, and that she is planning on continuing these slow reads for Mind of My Mind, and those will start in January again. So it'll be timed so it's ahead of the discussion show then too. So I think that is all. Thank you all for coming, and look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Bye, everyone. And as Andrew would say, read with purpose.
Yeah.
Bye.